Hello guys, welcome back. In this episode we'll just look at creating out our API authentication controllers. So what we are going to do first of all is I'm just going to head into my web routes and get rid of these and just respond with hello or something. So that's that. And then I'm just going to go into my models, user, and I'm going to say implements JWT subject. And then we just need to implement two functions, which is public function get JWT identifier, and then we'll just say return this get key, and then another one which is called get JWT custom claims, and this is just going to return an empty array for now because we're not really going to be using this. So if I now I'm going to create a API directory here, and I'm just going to drag all these authentication routes in here and deleting the forgot your password controllers and changing this namespace over to API/auth and this one as well. And then I'm just going to create my routes, removing the default one once again. So we'll say route group prefix is going to be auth, and then we're going to say middleware throttle, which is going to be 20 per 5 minutes. And then in here I'm just going to add a post route, which is going to be at register, and this is going to reference the API authentication register controller at register. I don't know what we'll actually do, so I'm just going to head into providers, route service provider, and I'm just going to say that the namespace is going to be this for the API routes, but then at API. So I don't have to reference this every time. And then the same for logging, but then just add login. And if I just take a look, auth register, this is returning hello for some reason. I think that is because it's redirecting me over to the home page. So that has indeed hit it, but it's just redirecting me over for some reason. Alright, so we're going to remove this middleware, and then what we'll do is set this empty. I'm going to say protected auth, and then in the construct we'll just set that auth variable. So we'll say this auth equals auth, and that's that. And then we have to check in to this trade. However, we'll just quickly check which method we need to override, which is this one. So I'm going to copy this over and implement that down here. And I think this can all go, yeah. So what I'll do, I'll create a validator, and that is going to be this validator, and then it's going to validate with all the requests thingies. And we have to pull this in actually. Alright, so if the validator does not fail, then we can create our user, this create request all, and then we can grab our token using the JWT auth package. So we'll just say this auth attempt using the credentials we got from the request. So we'll say request only email password, and that will give us the token. Then we'll respond with some JSON saying success is true. We got the data, which is just a user, and we got our token, which is the token. So that's it. I'm just gonna add in 200 for some clarity. And when this fails, so if this response has not been sent out yet, then we're going to say success is false. And we got errors, so we'll say the errors is validator errors. So now if I take a look, I'm just gonna uncheck something. So we got a validation error. The email's already been taken because I've been testing earlier on. So I'll just remove this, and then when I click this again, it should submit through. Not yet. We have password confirmation, which I don't really bother with that too much. So now it has, created our user, so we see our token here. So that is all working nicely. And now we're gonna look at, our login controller. So it's basically gonna be, around the same process. We'll just remove this, set this empty, protected auth equals nothing, gwt auth, and I will say this auth is auth. And then when I look here, I'm just gonna copy this entire thing and implement it down here. Pull in the request, and what this is auto completing it for me. But if you don't have that, you just type this out, like normal. So for logging in, what we want to do is we just want to remove this. We want to check if it has too many attempts, but instead of saying the logged out response, we'll just say success is false, and then we have an errors, and then in here I'm just going to add an error, which is you've been logged out. Alright, so if we're not logged out, we can try to log in. So I'm just going to add a try catch block, removing this, and comment this out for now, and try catch. So if this is failing, we'll catch a JWT exception, and then in try we're just gonna say if no token equals this auth attempt, request only email and the password. And in here we're going to respond with JSON saying, we have tried to log in with invalid credentials. So success is false. And then the errors under the email, we are just going to say invalid username or email address or password, which is gonna be under 403 or 422. Alright, so that's that. Then if we have an exception here, which this will throw, then we're gonna respond with JSON as well, which is basically going to be the same as this. So yeah, we could tidy this up a bit more, but it's gonna be, this is gonna do the job fine, so we'll just leave that. And then at the bottom, if this is not, if this has not failed, then this can go. Then we're just gonna, below this increment logins attempts, we'll just say return response JSON We should probably put this at the top. And this is going to be 200. And then the success can be set to true. And then we're logged in. So what we can do is we're just going to say request user. We have the token, which is going to be the token. So now if I check this out, go to login, posting, saying email is my email from before, and my password is testing. We have an error, we don't have that route registered yet. Or we do. API auth register controller. Oh, this should be a login. That has worked. So we see our user here, and we see the token we have here, and then if I just enter a wrong password, that is going to say invalid email address or password. So yeah, that's it. Very quickly we have created the authentication routes for this, and actually what we can do is we can also create our /me endpoint, but we'll look at that in the next episode, and then we'll also look at our middlewares, so protecting our routes. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.